Gotcha.
Destruction's Fusilade is a rank 8 heavy bowgun in Monster Hunter World, is the Nergigante Heavy Bowgun, and it's one you're going to want to pay particular attention to because it's one of the best heavy bowguns in the game. It gets level 3 spread ammo, and not only does it have very low recoil, but it has pretty fast reload times. Additionally, it gets to bring level 2 and level 3 sticky, that's nice. It actually gets to bring level 1 and level 2 recover as well, so you can think of it as kind of being able to heal your team when you're in a multiplayer situation. It has paralysis and sleep. Admittedly, it doesn't hold a lot of those in capacity, so it kind of takes a while to cause that ailment. And then, when we look at the elemental ammo, it gets both water and freeze. I don't really worry about that too much. It holds a decent amount of them, I guess. But what's interesting is it gets both demon and armor ammo. So on the one hand, this is a terrific spread ammo heavy bowgun, but between the recover ammo, the demon ammo, and the armor ammo, it's also not bad at being kind of a support weapon. Now let's jump into a little more stats on this gun. Of course, it's rarity 8, which means it only gets one augmentation slot, and you're going to need a hero streamstone for that. It's got a pretty high attack value of 285. That's not necessarily the best, but it's pretty good considering it's a spread ammo heavy bowgun, right? So if you want the strongest spread ammo heavy bowgun, you're going to go with Destruction's Fusilade. It doesn't have any negative affinity. It says it doesn't have an element, but that doesn't mean the elementalist gem will work on it. On bowguns, we always have to look and see if it carries elemental ammo. It does, so the elementalist skill does not work on this heavy bowgun. It has one rank 1 decoration slot. That's okay, I guess it's better than nothing. I'm not really too worried about the deviation. Deviation on bowguns has actually never really bothered me, except in the case where you have Wyvern Heart and you're trying to aim it from kind of a medium distance. That's the only time deviation really causes a problem. But, and in this case we do have Wyvern Heart for the special ammo type. For the mods, I've gone with shield, close range, and that is for getting in there and kind of shooting the enemy with the spread ammo. And the reason you're able to get away with 2 close range up modifications is just because Destruction's Fusilade already gets a great reload time and a great recoil for its spread ammo. So that's always something we're looking at when we're working with bowguns. We're always wondering, what kind of recoil do they have on their ammo types? Well, obviously, what kind of ammo do they have? How much do they hold? And then, of course, how fast can it reload that ammo? And since Destruction's Fusilade reloads its spread ammo 3 so quickly, you just go 2 close range up mods, and the shield mod is for obvious reasons. The heavy bowguns, they don't move very quickly, but they can guard. So what you kind of want to do, treat it a little bit like a lance. You want to get in there, get close to the opponent. You can get under their legs if you want to get under their legs, and then shoot them in the head. So yeah, this is kind of like using a lance. This is kind of a good way to describe it. Except in this case, you have all these supportive ammo types. You can put the monster to sleep. You can paralyze the monster. You can actually swap over to the normal ammo. Normal ammo 3 is going to have a long reload time, but normal ammo 2 does not. So that's kind of nice. I tend to use it when I'm in a group setting and the monster runs away from me. Rather than rolling after him to catch up, I just swap over to a different ammo type, kind of a long range ammo type, and start using that until I've walked into range of the monster or the monster has come back to me. However, when you're playing solo, speedrunning, right, you don't really worry about that as much. The monster just stays right on top of you, and you keep shooting him with your spread ammo. So I kind of want to say that, well, let me put it like this. Spread ammo, in my opinion, takes a lot more skill than the sticky ammo. Right now, there's kind of a sticky ammo meta. As of this video, I don't know if they'll nerf it in the future or if they'll buff the other ammo types, but right now it's kind of a sticky ammo meta because people like to take sticky ammo, cluster bombs, and the Wyvern ammo, right? So there's kind of an explosive ammo type meta going on. If you're going to use spread, there are some monsters you do kind of want to look at for using spread, and then there are other monsters you kind of want to avoid them when you're using spread. And then of course when you're fighting in groups, you really won't be as effective because the monster really will run away from you, and as a heavy bowgun user, you can't quickly catch up to them. If you're using a light bowgun, you can kind of just follow the monster while he runs away, but on the other hand, you're not able to guard with the light bowgun. So it just always ends up remaining tricky and in my opinion requiring more skill. Now let's move on to talking a little bit about the build. So as you can see, I've gone with the Nergigante Divinity and the ammo up skills. That's kind of obvious. I think right now for most bowguns, I don't know how many exceptions there are to it, that's pretty much the meta for bowguns. If you didn't know that about bowgun builds, ammo up, Nergigante Divinity. You got to be wearing 3 pieces of Nergigante armor to get that. You can see I've gone with the Nergigante claws, Nergigante spine, and the Nergigante spurs. Now you'll see I have a shield jewel. That's going to give me guard up. It'll allow me to block some of the most powerful moves in the game, such as the Supernova from Teostra, or you can block the Nergigante dive bomb, right? Really powerful moves. You're able to block them as long as you have the shield jewel. If you don't, you're not able to block them at all, and they just kind of cut right through you as if you took the whole move, so that's really important. Obviously, I have another Tenderizer Jewel. This allows me to get rank 3 weakness exploit. Obviously, you're going to be shooting the monster on the head, right? You want to hit them in their weak spot, and you're going to get that extra crit damage, so that's going to help you with their damage. On the Dragon King eye patch, I've got Spread Jewel 3. If you don't have Spread Jewel 3, you might want to wait on using this weapon. I feel like that's one of the problems with the heavy bowguns is they're kind of expensive to use. You really do want to have that Spread Jewel before you use it. It's not impossible to use it without the Spread Jewel. It just makes such a clear difference. Finally, you'll notice I have 4 rank 1 decoration slots, and what you probably want to do is think about what monster you're fighting and put defensive decorations in there. So if you're fighting something like Val Hazak, you're going to have to put 3 miasma jewels in there. That's what I recommend, because you really are going to be standing right underneath Val Hazak, and you're going to be in range of getting the effluvial blight, so miasma gems will be good. Something like fire resistance would probably be good if you're fighting Teostra. And we're going to talk a little bit about that next, fighting the elder dragons. Just notice that you do get 4 small decoration slots, and you can put any defensive skills you want in there. So just like I said, we're going to move on to talking about maybe some cases where you don't want to be using spread ammo. That's kind of important here. When I was using it, I used it against all of the monsters, well, most of the important ones anyways, and I noticed it's not very fun to use the spread ammo against Teostra, Val Hazak, and Kushala da Oda. Since it's spread ammo and you have to get real close to them, you end up getting affected by most of their auras. Kushala da Aura, he's going to push you back. Teostra tends to run past you so that you're looking at his butt. And what happens is when his aura goes up, your spread ammo does 0 damage to his body. That's true for Kushala da Aura as well, by the way. So when Kushala da Aura's aura goes up, and you shoot his body, your ammo does exactly 0 damage unless you're shooting him in the head, and I think the tail can be affected as well. But that's really difficult for a heavy bowgun using spread ammo because you kind of have to constantly position yourself to get to his head, and by then he's already jumped off to your other teammate. I ended up feeling like I couldn't do enough damage with the spread ammo. Like I could have swapped over to a sticky ammo heavy bowgun and I could have just done a ridiculously better job. Because here's the next problem. Those auras kind of impact you, including the Val Hazak aura. When you get that close to the monsters, you're definitely going to be in range of their auras and taking damage. Val Hazak puts down kind of a mist of effluvial, and that's going to do some tick damage to you. Well, if you're using sticky ammo, you could actually be outside of the range of that. It wouldn't be such a big deal. Likewise, with Teostra, when you're close enough to him, his fire aura is doing a ton of damage to you, and it is so hard. I mean, at least with Val Hazak, you can just keep shooting him, even though he doesn't seem to take a lot of damage from spread. And then with Teostra, you just don't do any damage to his body. And finally, with Kushala da Aura, you get knocked back constantly. It's very annoying. The only Elder Dragons that I ended up wanting to fight with spread was definitely Kieran, and he's kind of dangerous in close range. It's just true. Considering you're moving pretty slow, right? You have to really be on top of causing him to flinch. Oh, I just said causing him to flinch. I should have talked about that earlier. So spread ammo is an impact ammo type, and it will actually cause the monster to flinch if you do enough damage to them. That means you can use the impact mantle if you have it with you. So it's just another thing to think about. Okay, getting back to what I was talking about. With Kieran, he's not so bad because his head's very exposed. He tends to face you. Also, he does seem to flinch pretty easily. So there's Kieran, and then there's my favorite Elder Dragon to fight with spread, Nergigante. Nergigante covers his whole body in weak spots because he's got continually growing spikes, right? And he's actually pretty easy to use spread ammo against. I would say he's even weak to spread ammo because he tends to jump right over toward you. You just shoot him in whatever body part you want that has spikes on it. When the spikes break, he gets knocked over, right? Really, really easy versus Nergigante. So it's kind of that situation where here's the Nergigante Heavy Bowgun, and what do you know, Nergigante is weak to it. So if you're going to fight an Elder Dragon with the Heavy Bowgun, the Nergigante Heavy Bowgun versus Nergigante is certainly a good choice in my opinion. I suppose the last thing we can do is compare Destruction's Fusilade to some of the other spread ammo heavy bowguns. In particular, probably the Dark Devourer, who has rank 3 spread as well, but the problem is you're not going to get as good of recoil and reload because the Nergigante Heavy Bowgun naturally has low recoil and low reload speeds. Okay, also, the Nergigante Heavy Bowgun gets that rank 2 spread ammo. So let's say you have a monster who's knocked over. What you can do is you can use all of your level 3 spread ammo and then jump over to your level 2 spread ammo, use it all up before the monster gets up, and basically what you've done there is, since the monster's incapacitated, you didn't waste any of that ammo, you just got all your hits in, right? Well, with the Dark Devourer, you're going to have to reload, and depending on what mod you took, you're probably going to have a slower reload. And then of course you have the Gnashing Flamin' Cannon, which is maybe closer in terms of being able to use spread ammo as opposed to the Dark Devourer, but I really didn't like the heavy amounts of recoil you get on the Gnashing Flamin' Cannon. You end up needing to build mods to compensate for that recoil, then you don't get the best reload speeds either, and finally you have the negative 20% affinity, so having the 300 attack on the Gnashing Flamin' Cannon ends up not being that spectacular. Additionally, it lacks recover ammo and it lacks sleep ammo, so I actually prefer the Nergigante Heavy Bowgun quite a bit. Alright, well I hope you guys found that informative. This is the best shotgun heavy bowgun in the game in my opinion. Try it out for yourselves, give the build a try, let me know what you think. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
Oh my gosh, you guys! I just want to thank y'all so much!